Hello, how are you going everyone? I hope you're all well today. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Launchpads and how really expensive they are, and if it is actually worthwhile getting into, and perhaps some other solutions that you may wish to consider, because Launchpads are really expensive. So I'm just going to be going over a few of the Launchpads and then a possible solution that may help you make some decisions in the future. Okay, but before I start, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so thank you very much. All right, so I'll just go through a few, Launchpads that are very popular at the moment. Of course, Polkastarter. I think pretty much everyone knows Polkastarter. That has a fantastic record, and literally, if you are lucky enough to get into one of these projects, then you'll probably be making many X's on your investment. So yeah, good luck to people who actually do get in. It is not at all easy, and one thing I dislike about Polkastarter, what they make you do is they'll make you sign up to the project's Telegram group, and also they'll make you kind of shill the project on your Twitter. Okay, I'm not all that keen on that kind of thing, because I have to tag two or three friends in my Twitter, and I don't feel comfortable about doing that. And yeah, so you have to go through a whitelisting process, and it's actually really difficult to get onto the whitelist. Okay, and if you are lucky enough to get onto the whitelist, then you're allowed to enter the IDO. Okay, and then after that, if you have a chance to send your allocation amount through, right? But many people are trying to send their allocation amount through at the same time, and only a certain number of people can do that. So it's pretty darn competitive. So if you don't up your gas, and if you don't up your gas, then there's a good chance that you won't get through. And if you don't get through, you still have to pay your gas fees. So yeah, I really am not into these gas wars at the moment, and it's not much fun at all. If you don't get in, and then you have to pay your gas fees, not nice at all. Anyway, I shouldn't complain, because many people have made lots of money from Polkastarter. So good for you guys. I'm very happy for you. And of course, there's DuckDAO. DuckDAO is an amazing project, and they have a fantastic record. Literally, you'll be like Polkastarter. You'll be making many X's. Performance-wise, I think Polkastarter and DuckDAO must be neck and neck. Perhaps DuckDAO is just ahead, but they have different ways to get into DuckDAO. So you can have the beach club, which you need a lot of DDIM token, so over 200, and then you can you have the opportunity to get into a private sale, but there's no guarantee. Okay, and I'm actually in the beach club. Was in the beach club, and you know what? It is not at all easy to get into the private sale, even if you do hold those tokens. You are literally bidding against many people who also want to get into it, and you can lose a lot of money in gas fees, especially now with Ethereum price so high. And also now they have a Duck starter program, so you can just hold Duck token, and you also have a chance to get into the public sales. So yeah, and there's no guarantee for that either. So yeah, there you go. And of course there is TrustSwap. Okay, and I have to say TrustSwap doesn't have as much hype, and I think, to be honest, the projects don't perform quite as well as DuckDAO and Polkastarter. Although their recent project performed really well. Let me see if I can find it here. Launchpads, here we go. And recent Launchpads, let me see. Upcoming Launchpads. Here we go, recent Launchpad. Their recent project, Modify, did amazingly well. Look at that, 2005%, fantastic. I was lucky enough to get into that, by the way, so that was great. And the good thing about TrustSwap is you are guaranteed an allocation. Okay, so you don't have to compete with other people in order to get your allocation. You're actually guaranteed an allocation. So you have a 24-hour window. I think it's 24-hour, or it could be a 12-hour window to to send in your KYC. Then after that, I think you have a 12-hour window or 24-hour window. Don't quote me on that. To send your allocation amount. All right, so it's a lot less stressful, and but the projects aren't as hyped, and probably they don't perform. For sure, they don't perform as well as DuckDAO and Polkastarter. All right, and we have some new kids on the block. We have PaidNetwork. PaidNetwork haven't launched any project on their Launchpad yet, but there is a hell of a lot of hype behind that. But to be honest, it's very expensive to get into the PaidNetwork Launchpad as well. Before they had different tiers, but they've changed that now. Depending on the amount of paid tokens you hold, then the percentage of those tokens that you hold compared to other people who also want to get into the new project on the Launchpad, you get a percentage of what you hold. So whales will get a large percentage of the new project's allocation, and people who don't have much paid tokens will get a lesser amount. So that to me sounds pretty fair, and looks like everyone gets a fair share of the pot. And one other thing about Paid, probably you may know this already, is that if you hodl the token, and if you also hodl the previous tokens that you got on Launchpad, then you have a bigger chance of getting into future projects. So that's a great idea, not only for us investors but also for the projects, because people are not going to sell or dump the tokens for an immediate profit if they think it may affect their future allocations. So yeah, I really like that idea. It's fantastic. Okay, and then there's Poolz token. Poolz token is pretty good too, but to be honest, I tried to get into one of the recent Launchpad projects. I think it was called Bot Ocean, and unfortunately I could not enter. I was not fast enough. I tried my guts out to get into this thing, man, but I couldn't, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, that's life, and I had to pay the network fee for trying to send my allocated amount through the network, and unfortunately I wasn't fast enough. So yeah, that's not non-refundable, unfortunately. So I spent about $100, wasted about $100 or more actually, and yeah, it was a bit sad. A lot of the times you're competing not against people, but you're actually competing against bots. So humans, unfortunately, are not as fast as bots. So there you go. I'm not too sure what to say. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in Poolz, but hey, there you go. I'm sure it's a good project. Alright guys, and there you go. It's my read on Launchpads, but I'm sure there are many more Launchpad projects out there that are very good as well. These are the Launchpad projects that I've had experience with, and yeah, so far I have to say TrustSwap is just easier for me, but you know what, for sure DuckDAO and Polkastarter, you're going to get a fantastic return. So you know, you have to work bloody hard though to get into these projects. Polkastarter especially, because you have to shield the project. Like I said, I'm not overly comfortable with that. And DuckDAO is just a race and a gas war to get in. Alright, so there you go guys. Actually, I want to bring up a new topic. I think a lot of people recently, in these days, have been trying to get into pancakeSwap. Okay, and recently I discovered pancakeSwap have an IFO. Okay, and an IFO means initial farm offering. So basically, it's like an IDO, but they call it an IFO. Alright, and you'll see there'll be a countdown timer. Okay, right now it's already finished. I did this one about a week ago. And you watch the countdown timer carefully, but you don't have to be too stressed out. The countdown timer will tick. Once that countdown timer has finished and the time's up, you'll have 1 hour. 1 hour's time to upload your LP token liquidity into PancakeSwap. Okay? And everyone has, you don't have to rush. So you have 1 hour and you can upload the amount of, okay, so you upload the amount of LP tokens that you want to be allocated for their new token, right? And then what happens is when the time is up, then depending on how much, depending on the value of your LP token, you'll be given a proportion of the amount. Okay, so let's look at the example here. In this example, this was 18,000% oversubscribed. Okay, so a lot of people tried to get a bigger allocation that was actually available. So in that situation, what they do is they provide you with the percentage of all the money that they've received, and they give you that percentage of that in Berry token, which is available. So I actually put in the amount of about $1,200, and at the end of the day I only got 12 Berry tokens. So yeah, it was 18,760% oversubscribed. So there are a lot of people that put in a lot more money than I did. And yeah, so there you go. So the good thing is though, even if you put in too much, you're going to get that refunded to you, and that happens pretty much instantaneously. Okay, so that's fantastic, and it's all in the one place. So as soon as you have finished getting your new Berry token and you feel that you didn't get enough, you can just zap on over to trade and go to the exchange, and from the exchange you can just search for the token that you just received and buy more from the exchange. So you can do that all in the one place, which is pretty fantastic. So as for me, I think that these launchpads are pretty expensive, and launchpads are becoming more and more popular. So you know, I'm just wondering whether they're worth it or not. Recently I kind of sold my DDIM. I still have plenty of ducks, so we'll just see how it goes. I still have Polkastarter, and I also have my TrustSwap. So I think getting into new projects is the key of being successful in this market at the moment. You can make many X's. So you know, I'll be very interested in what you have to say. What is your strategy and what are you doing? Be very interested in hearing your comments below. So please give me a thumbs up, guys, and see you next time, I should say. See you next time, guys. Thank you very much and have a great week. Bye.